So this is for the cold open. That way when you can have something funny to say before the opening rolls, and then you can be like, oh, that's zany and spontaneous, that thing they just did.
Wow, they didn't plan that. So what's going on, Drew? What are we doing here right now? Why are we here? What's the point of life?
That is an amazingly profound question, and the sort of thing you want to dwell upon when you're hanging out at the booth at the conference.
Right, now, so
we are at the GrrCON.
Yes.
GrrCON, West Michigan's premier hacker conference, because I think all the other security conferences call themselves security conferences. So
okay.
they can justly take that title.
Right.
And I've been trying to talk to students and interesting folks in cyber and that sort of thing all yesterday. It's a 2-day event. And a little bit this morning. I even got Dr. Pavlov to sit down behind the microphone for a minute.
A fellow GRCC professor.
Indeed, and cyber security technology enthusiast.
Just a collage of the conversations that you've had with folks here at GrrCON, and we'll just meander through the people that you've talked to, and hopefully it'll be interesting.
That's always kind of my hope.
I mean, that's sort of the goal. If it's not, just let us know in the comments. No, just kidding.
Like and subscribe.
If you hated this, please like and subscribe.
And give us a 5-star rating on the iTunes.
So where do you want me? Am I close enough on this thing? Do you want me to? I can eat the damn thing. These are really cool. I love these ones. These are pretty awesome.
Yep.
I feel like I want to eat it.
Be right in there.
Free to eat it.
As close as you want to get. We sanitize them after every use, so you're cool. So will you tell the we're actually up to like several hundred now, but the dozens and dozens of listeners to Defeasible Reasoning, who you are and what you do and what we're doing here at GrrCON.
GrrCON, yeah. So Chris Roberts, let's see, hacker, which is probably the easiest way to describe me, researcher and chief security architect over at TiVo Networks at the moment.
TiVo Networks, like the guys who make the little set-top boxes that record all my shows?
No, at TiVo Networks.
TiVo,
so
okay.
Deception, fun stuff, causing chaos and mayhem in the world.
Deception. Could you unpack deception for us? What does it mean to deceive?
So to lie, it's simple. So deception at the end of the day, from what we're doing is simple. It's if you assume that somebody's always going to be able to get on the inside, which, let's face it, we're not able to stop anybody, an attacker, somebody from not being able to break in. So you assume somebody's already on the inside. 2 questions. What are you going to do about it? And how are you going to know about it? And if you look at some of the problems that we have in the industry at the moment, you've got dwell time, which we're sitting at, several hundred days.
This is several hundred days that there is some sort of threat. Perhaps they're advanced, perhaps they're persistent, that they're on your network.
But there's somebody in the freaking network. And then when you do eventually find them, you play chase your tail for God knows how long to actually try to figure out what's going on. So the logic on deception is simple. It's like, okay, if you have an environment, let us literally replicate that environment, camouflage ourselves in that environment, so as an attacker starts to move, look around, they trip over our credentials or our printers or our systems instead of tripping over your own. That way you set the alerts off and off we go from there.
Sort of like honeypots?
Yeah, honeypots on steroids with teeth.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
With teeth, they bite?
Yeah, pretty much.
If the sort of uninitiated have heard of you at all, it might be because of something that happened with an airplane. And could you remind us as to what that story was all about?
Yeah.
I apologize. I'm sure you've told this story before, but
yeah, once or twice. It's all right though. It's good. It's so did a bunch of research. Started in 2010, 2011, all about aviation. We were looking at all sorts of transportation, focused on aviation. Tried talking to the airline industries a number of times. They wouldn't listen. So in the end, we were like, sod it. We're actually going to go out there and we'll demo exactly what we can do. We demoed it on the ground. We got hold of a bunch of research machines. We built our own research environments. We got hold of a couple of maintenance laptops and demonstrated exactly how to move from entertainment system across the wired network all the way to where we could actually see some interesting stuff off of the pointy end of the airplane. Gotcha. And then got yelled at for it.
Specifically, I thought it was because you took to Twitter whilst on an airplane.
Sitting on an airplane, yeah. And that was because one of the aviation industries basically turned and said it's not possible to do anything. And we're sitting there going, actually, we call bullshit. Yes, it is. And at this point in time, if we really want to be nasty, we could actually deploy the oxygen mask and depressurize the airplane.
Which might cause a little bit of a panic. We had I heard you talk about that when you were here the first time, and I was like, still not convinced. There's a lot of aviation in Grand Rapids.
Yeah.
And I had a student come to me who was in one of those companies, and I was recounting your story, and he kind of looks at me. He's like, "Oh, don't worry. Yeah, we fixed that." I was like, "Yeah, oh, sweet. I'm glad I know that
bless
now."
him. No, it's interesting because, I mean, after it all blew up, a lot of the research got handed to a couple of the agencies, and it had already been handed off to them in like 2013, 2014. And now, for good or for bad, it's starting to come to light that, yes, there are issues, there are challenges. Obviously, IO Active and Rubens and a bunch of the guys do some amazing work on the SATCOM system. So we had that. We had other areas and attack vectors. We had ground control systems to get into. I mean, there are a number of ways of getting in and out of these damn things. And so I think the frustration, I took a lot of heat, and it impacted me personally, and it impacted me at a company level. And I think part of the frustration is like, look, if you'd have actually flipped and listened when we first started having these discussions, 2011, 12, 13, we wouldn't be in the same position we're in now.
Gotcha.
So.
Where's the accent from, man? Where's the accent from?
Oh, part English and part Scottish, one parent of each.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, 20 years in this or so in this country, so...
yeah, it fades in and out depending on what you're talking about.
It does, yeah, definitely.
And the Rugby World Cup, you look like you could have played a bit of rugby.
Yeah, a little bit in my youth and a little bit as I was growing up. I got to the stage where I was like second row, and I kept getting fed up of getting broken ribs and smashed in.
I have a little Irish heritage, and we have a real game that we play over there called hurling.
Oh, yeah, that's like an organized fight.
Running at people with basically shillelaghs while they're
pretty much
trying to pass the ball around.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's good to get broken bones for sports.
Rugby was good. I mean, the World Cup's going on, obviously, and that's just fantastic to sit and watch that at the moment.
So if you had any advice for the youngsters out there in the Americas wanting to get into the cybers, how do you do it? How do you crack that nut?
I mean, I think a couple of different things. One, obviously, we're here at GrrCON, which is a fantastic avenue from that standpoint. Come in, talk to people, get to know people. It's what I love about this conference, and also the B-sides. I mean, you look at the B-sides community is huge.
Besides Detroit's big in Michigan, you can drive across the state and go there.
It's free, or it's at least low cost to get into the darn thing. You've got a lot of us in the community support the heck out of the community. It's just like, okay, how can we get more people in? How can we encourage people in? For the kids coming in, it's like, get involved. Get out to the community. Come out to some of the conferences. Come say hi. Ask questions. And I think that's the big one. We're all approachable. Most of us are approachable. If we look,
in the high 70s.
Yeah,
easy.
Exactly. And if we don't look approachable, approach us with either a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, or a whiskey. You know, one of those three will always help on, definitely.
Or some kind of combination of both.
Yeah, that works too as well, definitely. But it's definitely one of those things where it's like, look, just ask us questions. We are here. We've had our lumps. We've taken our bruises. We've made the stupid bloody mistakes. Our job, honestly, at this point in time is to help people coming into the industry make less mistakes, try to actually help steer them into an environment. Because when we started this industry, it was a very, very simple structure. Now there are dozens, if not hundreds of different avenues you can go in this industry. So it's really a matter of sitting down with somebody and going, okay, what are you passionate about? What will get you up in the middle of a Midwest winter at 2 o'clock in the bloody morning and actually keep you interested enough to get you out of a warm, cozy bed? Is it research? Is it blue teaming? Is it red teaming? Is it incident response? Is it something completely different? Is it compliance and regulations?
Yeah, everybody's super fired up about compliance, man. I love regulatory compliance.
Oh, man.
That's what gets me out of bed at 2 in the morning.
Yeah, that's the scary stuff. That's the scary stuff. But
Somebody's got to do it.
Thankfully, it takes all sorts, and we need all sorts to come into this environment. And I think that's the other part. If you're sitting there going, well, I'm not sure if I'm the right person, screw it, get in. We don't want the same people with the same brains coming in. I want diversity of thought, and I sure as hell want all the other diversities in here because we need more of it.
Yeah, we do. We do indeed. All right, well, I appreciate the time you have given us.
Yeah,
this has been
is
great.
Fun. Thank you.
Thank you much.
As always.
Always a pleasure, sir.
Yeah, you too, sir. Thank you.
If the people want to get in touch with you on the interwebs, how do they find you?
You could probably find me on Twitter. It's just ppolstra, PPOLSTRA. I tend to be very boring because I like people to be able to find me. So I'm on LinkedIn, ppolstra at BloomU.edu, and we'll talk.
Cool. And you will be presenting at Beautiful GrrCON 2019
That
and
is
talking
correct.
about
Big plane, little plane. So talking about how different proposed aviation attacks affect large aircraft like airliners and small general aviation aircraft.
Man,
And
we're creating a podcast suite here because we just got done talking to Chris about that one time he did that one thing on that one airplane and they wanted to talk to him afterwards.
correct.
And they put him in detention.
Yes,
You were telling me a story that like you have built an airplane.
that is correct.
So you are
Yeah.
intimately familiar with all of the parts of the airplanes.
Yeah, I've actually built an airplane. I am a licensed airplane mechanic and inspector and avionics tech. Currently, I believe I hold 17 aviation ratings. Pennsylvania Flight Instructor of the Year for 2019.
Congratulations on that. I hope to be the first to congratulate you in podcast land on that. But your background is you're here because you do the cybers. I think I read your Linux forensics book.
Yeah,
Am I remembering that?
that's one of them.
Yeah, I don't know as I've read them all. You started out at what's the school you're currently going to? It's not your alma mater yet.
No, I am currently a professor at Bloomsburg University of Pennsylvania. I'm required to add the of Pennsylvania,
What,
or people
your
get
state school?
unhappy. That is correct. It's
Okay.
one of 14 schools in the state system in Pennsylvania.
You're lucky it's a state system. Michigan, it's a free-for-all. Everybody does what they want. Try getting credits transferred from one place to the other. It's madness. Absolute madness. Before then, Iowa?
I taught at a private university in Iowa.
All right.
Initially as an aviation professor who occasionally taught computer security, and then toward my end of my time there, I switched to become a computer professor who occasionally taught aviation and stuff.
So you're kind of uniquely qualified to talk about the airplanes plus the securities.
Yeah, I have actually done some work for contractors that develop avionics that are in
Avionics
some
are
of
the
the
little
airliners.
Gadgets that are on
Right.
the
So,
dashboard.
in fact, I've done some work on testing some of the very pertinent pieces of avionics that are involved in a lot of the attacks that people have proposed.
Gotcha. So you might have seen the other side of some of Chris's work, just as in a broad spectrum sense.
Exactly.
Or at least had to think really hard about what they were doing.
And I pretty much know how some things work, although I can't share everything I know.
We
Lovely NDAs.
we appreciate confidentiality on this podcast. So how did you get your students up here and what are they here to learn?
My students are here to learn all about the wonderful world of cybersecurity and also to network so that when they graduate, some of them soon, and some of them are actually brand new students, freshmen, been in college for literally a month or two, and they're out here and they're getting to know their fellow students and having some fun, learning some stuff, and starting to build those relationships with the industry.
What do you tell the youngsters who are interested in the cybers? How do they get started? What's the best route?
I would say
Go
find
to your
something that
school.
interests you. Well, of course, you could come to our school, which is one of 6 or 7 that have the NSA CAE stamp for forensics.
Can you say the whole acronym?
The whole acronym.
Yeah. Can you do it? It took me a long time. We went through that for GrrCC. We are a CAE, CNSS, NSA, Center of Academic Excellence for 2-year education. CAE 2YE. All right.
So we're all that for 4-year education.
There you go.
There you go. I'm just going to make my life easy.
There you go.
But yeah, so normally I'll just tell people, hey, find something that interests you and build your own niche.
Sure, and that's probably true of security or everything else.
That's true of so many things. I mean, I look at it as, there's a big world of cybersecurity out there. And there's so many areas. In fact, just this morning, I got another email from someone saying, hey, I'm thinking about getting into cybersecurity. I need a topic for my master's thesis that might develop into a PhD dissertation. What should I do? And I'm like, well, what do you like? Here's a good example.
Actually, if you've got thoughts on what I should be doing for a PhD dissertation and thesis, I'm kind of trying to figure that out myself. So,
All right, we'll talk about that offline a little bit later. But yeah, so normally I'll just tell people, look at, find something you like, maybe something you're good at, and just become the expert. I look at something like USB, and if I go back a few years.
wait, what's a USD?
USB.
Oh, like the universal serial bus that you plug
yes,
a
that
computer
thing.
into. Okay.
So if I go back a few years, I didn't really know much about USB. I just knew that if you plugged something in, it made little noises. If you unplugged it, it made the reverse noises.
And there's something to do with like one wire's power and one wire's ground.
And all that. So I actually decided to learn a little bit more about it, and I started doing some USB devices and actually have a book on USB forensics. So, I've gone around the world literally talking about USB forensics because I just picked an area that nobody else was working in and became the expert.
I think when I talked to Chris Payne about this, his thing that he wants to find somebody who's into is YAR rules, or like intrusion detection rules. And I kind of went, oh boy, that sounds an exciting way to spend every waking moment of your day. But
it sounds
I
like
hope
an
somebody's out
exciting
there.
thing for somebody else to do.
Cool. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
No problem.
Do you want to introduce yourselves?
So I'm Quinn Cars. I'm currently a system administrator at Gun Lake Casino.
I'm Evan Smelker, a network engineer at Sawyer Nursery.
At where?
Sawyer Nursery.
Sawyer Nursery.
They grow up
Oh,
plants.
they're not on 12 or Shaner, are they? No, that's Shaner Nursery. No,
They're over in Hudsonville.
Okay. And I dragged you guys over here because you share something in common, and I'm wondering if either of you remember what that is.
We were both part of Drew Rosema's program through GrrCC.
Oh, so you're graduates of the Grand Rapids Community College Center for Cybersecurity Studies pre-information security degree program?
Yes, sir.
Oh, wow. So what brings you to the GrrCONs?
To learn and to, I guess, talk to vendors so they can try to sell me stuff, right?
Rapid 7, you said,
Yeah.
has some sort of security
Some company
incident
that might
event
make
manager?
made exploitable, stuff like that.
Yeah, some hackery things. Now they're like, hey, we want to get into the blue team stuff.
Yep.
I'm surprised. I should probably flag somebody down and ask them about their product. What was your experience after GrrCC? What'd you go on to do? Somebody just went and got himself a job, apparently.
So my big experience was after CC, I went and I was working for CU Answers, which is a credit union company. And mainly it was just using the degree as kind of a footstep. So, I mean, with Rosema's program, we had a lot of hands-on experience. So it gave me the ability to actually know what is going on in the field and know how to do stuff in the field. Whether
Do they think that's important, that employees can do stuff?
over theoretical, yes.
If I remember, one of you got the other a job at some point. Am I misremembering that?
Yes.
Yeah. Followed him along. He went over to CU Answers a little bit after that. I applied, joined CU Answers as well. The experience over at the college kind of gave you the confidence to mess with some stuff when you get into an actual business network.
And sure, my classes are awesome and everybody should take them because they're amazing. But the thing that got you the job probably wasn't exactly that you took my class, but maybe that you knew this guy over here.
I mean, that may have helped a little bit. I mean, it'll get you in the door.
Cool, but if you don't know anything, you're kind of hosed. So, where are you guys on the internets these days? What are your social networkings? Do you do the LinkedIns? Do you do the tweeters?
I have nothing.
You're just like black hole.
Yes.
I'm too late to have a location.
You can find me on LinkedIn, so Quinn Cars, just on LinkedIn if you want to ever look up or talk. I'd be more than happy to give recommendations or talk to you about the field.
And you have made the first of your many charitable contributions back to the college of your student ticket that apparently you didn't need for this event. So I am going to go find one lucky GrrCC student, probably in my 178 class, to hand your ticket off to. So thanks for that.
Yeah, just remember that once you actually get a job somewhere, you can get a company to pay for even more expensive tickets, and it doesn't come out of your pocket. So that's the best part.
Pro tip. All right, well, thank you, gentlemen. I appreciate you taking time
Yeah,
out.
thanks for
Enjoy the
having
beer.
us.
Have a great conference.
Yep.
Cheers. Tell the nice people in podcast land what your name is.
Hi, my name's Jeremy.
Jeremy. Jeremy what? Can you disclose your last name, or are
I
you
can.
like,
It's Skulls.
so cyber that you're not allowed to? I interview people sometimes who are like, I'm not allowed to say where I work. Or where
I'm not quite sure what to do with my hands.
So you, like the two young men I just spoke with, Quinn et al., did you ever have any interactions with Grand Rapids Community College?
I did, actually. That's where I met a lot of great students, actually. I'm still in contact with.
Are you actually a Spartan? Did I?
Spartan alumni, yes.
Oh my goodness! With a honest to goodness, fully fledged out bachelor's degree in
Communications.
after
Very technical.
after
very
getting-
deeply technical. Hands-on.
after getting an exciting job in communications, you said, you know what, I'm going to blow this off and go to cyber.
I never actually got a job in communications, so I was always working in tech. And the story is, I started at GrrCC. I wanted to transfer out. I did that. I wanted to go to MSU. I wanted to go to a Big Ten school. I ended up doing that, and there just wasn't a lot of jobs in communications, and I always worked in tech. So I ended up just sticking with that. And then got into security.
Between got into security and graduated from MSU, did anything happen regarding Grand Rapids Community College?
Yes. In fact, yes. I took some classes, some of your classes.
That's good. And then off into the world of technology. You're doing some fancy consulty place that made you take the test that the NFL players have to take before they'd let you get a job there? Am I remembering this right?
Yes, that is correct. So the firm I work at is like they're very picky about who they bring in, so they make you take some personality tests.
Like the Big Five personality test?
It's not called that. It's something a little bit different. It's a variant of that, I believe. But they just want to make sure that you're a good fit with the firm. They look for certain characteristics and traits. They want people that are really hard workers and very persistent people. So I fit the bill for that. So I ended up getting a job at the current firm I have right now.
Gotcha. Hardworking and persistent.
Yes. Very good traits to have if you work in security.
Or any position, really. But
Fair enough.
Security most of all. Cool. And so what's your daily these days?
So daily what I work on is security operations. So a lot of it's triaging alerts. That could be anything from any type of malware outbreak or like most organizations, phishing response.
Okay.
That's probably about 60% of what I do, and about 40% is about engineering. So I'm implementing a new antivirus or something like that, or tuning some of the SIM rules, things like that.
Got you playing with the security onions or the Splunks or whatever it is people are using to keep track of who's being naughty in their network.
Pretty much.
Are you willing to help out GrrCC alums if they wanted guidance or?
Absolutely, yeah.
All right. So
Absolutely.
how do they find you on the interwebs if they wanted to
So
connect?
I'm on LinkedIn. That's probably the best way to get a hold of me.
I'm a fan.
Just Jeremy Scholes. You'll find me on there.
Gotcha. And you're not in GR anymore, right? Did you move to the bad side of the other side of the state?
Yeah, that's correct. I live on the east side.
Gotcha. And that's
So-
where your firm's. There's some big town over there I keep hearing about. They
I
make
don't know.
cars sometimes.
Detroit, something like that.
All right. Yeah.
It's not as bad as it seems.
They at least have professional sports teams over there. That's cool.
Unfortunately, they're all bad at once.
The
It's
Titans
painful.
did all
I'll still
right.
go though.
Yeah.
They're still fun to watch.
Yeah, I have actually seen the Lions win in person.
Wow.
Yeah, it was the preseason.
Yeah.
It was
our
after that
5-0
year.
preseason.
Yep,
That
it
we
was-
went 0-16.
That would be the one. It was
a
it
good
was the
year.
one right after.
It's a good year to
0-16.
forget.
Yeah, that was good stuff.
I just kind of, pretend that didn't happen. It's painful. How's your fantasy team doing?
I am, I think, tied for first in terms of wins, but
Nice.
in like third for. We should make this a fantasy football podcast. That's what we should do. I think I'm third for total overall score, so I could be doing better. Let's take a look. Real-time fantasy football update here on the pod.
I made the mistake of drafting Joe Mixon this year. It's painful.
Tied for second because first is 6-1. I'm 5-2, along with Optimus Price. I drafted Zach Ertz, and I imagine you can see what I did with that name. So
Yep.
just like everybody else, you did.
I like it.
Cool. All right, man. Well, thank you for coming on the pod.
Hey, I appreciate it. I'm a big fan. I listen to every episode.
There you go. So now you're famous.
Yeah.
I thought. Did you hear the one where we said if you've heard of the podcast, come up and
Yes.
Well,
That's how
we
I
have
knew
a-
I could get on the podcast. I was like,
we have a special prize for you.
oh, really?
Yes, you get to be on the podcast.
Oh,
So I
nice.
hope that's exciting for
Good.
you. Excellent. Well, I appreciate it, man. Thanks much.
Yep. Thank you.
go completely off script, talk about whatever I want to talk about.
It's kind of really how I've been doing this thing as long as I've been doing this thing, so that's cool.
I'm gonna push my own agenda.
Introduce yourself and tell the nice people what you do.
Names are really important, and mine is Anthony Tuttle. I'm the program manager for the Cyber Hub at the West Michigan Center for Arts and Technology.
What do you call that when you make that an acronym?
When you take the West Michigan Center for Arts and Technology and you acronymize it, we'll go with that. We call it WMCAT.
We're grumpy about the difference between acronyms and initialisms. It's a big, important thing.
Yeah. So, WMCAT. WM, not WMCAT, but WMCAT, because it rolls off the tongue a little bit nicer.
I like it. I've been a big fan.
And all the staff, we are the WIM fam. We have a 16-seater passenger van that is our WIM van, and it's pretty WIM-tastic.
Jesus. You guys need to go to marketing school.
I roll, yeah.
WIM-tastic?
It's that was on the spot.
You know the kid who took my order at a fine restaurant that I'm not going to plug because we don't do plugs here, but when I asked him, he said, "Hey, how are you doing this evening?" I was like, "Great, how are you?" He said, "I'm taco-tastic."
That's...
It's okay to be taco-tastic. I'm all right with that.
Especially on Tuesdays, maybe, but, yeah.
I think it was Taco Monday because we're doing this thing in the Rosema household where we're watching Stranger Things. So
which
we
season?
didn't have time to cook.
All of them?
We're up to 2.
Okay.
The wife and I have seen them all. The kids are kind of catching up now. We decided 10 was on the low end of okay.
Okay.
And so she hasn't had nightmares yet. So
all
it's doing
right. There you go. That helps.
All right, so what are you guys doing over there at the WMCAT?
At the WMCAT. Yeah, so in addition, for those who might not know what the rest of WMCAT's about, in addition to providing economic access opportunity for GrPS students through our after-school Teen Arts and Tech program.
For our international listeners, those are the Grand Rapids Public Schools.
Grand Rapids, yes. I've been in cybersecurity for almost a year now, so I've learned to speak fluent acronym. But yes, the Grand Rapids Public School students, for no cost, it is a tuition-free program, can sign up to take after-school studios and the arts and tech at the WMCAT.
I heard good things. There was a programming program going on there, but they also do things like make T-shirts and what's the other one?
Yeah, so we've got some workforce development as well. We take under and unemployed adults and prepare them for careers in medical billing, medical coding, and pharmacy technicians. And then sort of the other pillar of WMCAT are social enterprises, of which we have 2. One of them is Ambrose at WMCAT, so that's our professional screen printing company that generates screen printed tees or bags or
Do they
bandanas.
do screen printed hoodies?
Yes.
Well, I should talk to those guys because we need a Grand Rapids Community College Center for Cybersecurity Studies hacker official hoodie designed.
I know a guy.
All right, we could take that offline, but that's a thing we have to have happen, and the administration, the man at the college, has agreed to let us make that a thing. So
yeah,
for reals, I think that should happen.
Well, and one of the things that's really great about the social enterprises, so there's Ambrose and there's also Public Agency. They operate as businesses owned by WMCAT, and then the profits funnel back into the nonprofit to support the work that we do.
So Ambrose is the
screen printing company,
and what is Public
Agency is our human-centered design thinking consultancy. So it's a group of individuals trained in the Stanford D School design thinking process that offer those services to the community. And just earlier today, our president and CEO, Daniel Williams, was talking about how Public Agency consults on issues as far as how do you address the prison population.
Sure, you can apply that Stanford D School design thinking process to like everything.
Literally anything, all the way down to like how do we get more people into a public library. So yeah, so in addition to those teen programs, those adult programs, the social enterprises, about a year or so ago, WMCAT also became home to the Cyber Hub at WMCAT, which is the only neutrally located and community-based cybersecurity resource for individuals and businesses here in West Michigan. And so what we mean by that...
Neutrally located.
Neutrally located.
Because when me and the guy from Ferris get together, we literally come to blows every time. It's mixed martial arts in the middle of the computer labs. It's ugly stuff.
It could happen. It could happen. And I've heard rumors, and you're confirming those rumors right now.
It's ugly. Bad blood. It's like either... Have you ever seen the Michael Jackson video where they have to tie each other's hands together and have switchblades. I believe it's the bad video.
That sounds...
It's actually how this goes down.
That sounds like the bad, yeah, right? And you got a moderator in there, and you...
No, they tie our hands together and give us switchblades, and we try to kill each other. It's literally that savage.
All right, no moderator. Just no holds barred. Get after it. You completely threw me for the switchblades, man. I had a train of thought, and you switchbladed that train of thought.
Your train
all the way gone.
Choo-choo.
But yeah, so neutrally located and community-based. So we're a nonprofit. We sit right at the intersection of K through 12 education with our teen students, right? Post-secondary with community partners like you and Ferris. For-profit employees, nonprofit organizations and institutions. So really, having the Cyber Hub at WMCAT helps us understand and connect the broader cybersecurity ecosystem so that we can help grow and diversify the talent pipeline here in West Michigan and make sure that we have great talent that's qualified to do the challenging work. And then, rather than that excellent talent being recruited out to Silicon Valley or anywhere on the West Coast, any large organizations that might be based in...
We tend to lose ours to Detroit and Chicago, but...
Minneapolis. How do you keep, that local talent here so that they can continue giving back to the community they're part of?
Oh, I got an easy answer. Pay them more money.
That definitely helps. That definitely helps.
The guy who orchestrates this convention, I think that was exactly why. I don't know. Maybe Chris left because he wanted a bigger challenge, but
yeah,
the more money thing seems to work pretty good.
More money seems to help.
What kind of programs currently are there? What kind of programs are you guys thinking about?
Yeah.
So I heard about an after-school programming thing.
Yeah. So right now, the teen after-school programs work more or less independently. There are video game design, creative computing, ceramics, photography, so a lot of just the creative arts in general. As we look at cybersecurity as a focus and growing the pipeline, which includes younger adults all the way up to people who are looking for a career shift or a career change, we have a suite of products and services that we can offer to the community that we get through Merit. So as an extension of the Michigan Cyber Range, which Merit powers, we have access to certification boot camps, training workshops. We're working with local security vendors to provide training. We're also partnered with the West Michigan Cybersecurity Consortium, or WMCSC, if you like acronyms.
Yep, we do. Technically an initialism right there. WMCSC doesn't turn into a word. Peeves.
I'm being learned
Pet peeves.
Live and on the podcast. But
we can edit that out if it'll make you feel better.
But we're really focusing on offering what the community needs today as we solicit feedback from influential voices in the community. Maybe there's a guy whose name always comes up.
Don't blow any smoke up. Don't start.
There's just a guy who comes up a lot in conversation.
Don't you start.
And thinking of
Jerry Emmerich from Ferris State University.
That is definitely one of the names that continuously comes up. But working to identify what employers need out of their entry-level talent, right? And how do we work towards making sure that more people are prepared to go in the career? And then once they're there, how do we support them and keep them growing in their professional skill sets to keep out all the critical infrastructure, all the things that go beep and boop in the night.
Anything
nice
with an
and
on
safe.
button.
Say it.
Anything with an on button.
Anything with an on button.
Tell me about what was your biggest challenge in the last year. That's a question from one of our previous podcast guests. Biggest challenge last year. Ready, set, go.
Biggest challenge for me in the past year has admittedly been shifting my problem-solving approach from being we'll call it a cog in the machine of a large global organization.
Somebody in town who might
Just a large...
might do the things that Grand Rapids used to be famous for.
Yeah, right? Just a large
Or
organization
Holland,
that makes things, and you may or may not,
He's sitting on one right now.
Yeah, but just being a part of a big organization and trying to solve problems from the perspective of a part of a large organization to being a more or less team of one inside of a very small, nimble organization, and sort of just changing the problem-solving approach, the tack, the speed of the business, how things can change quickly, and how I really have a lot of latitude to make those changes. So that's been the biggest shift for me, maybe the biggest challenge, you might say.
Sure.
But in that, I think there's a lot of freedom and putting the design thinking process into practice and really giving it a shot, seeing if it works, moving on and iterating quickly, and that's really what WMCAT's all about.
That's cool. That's an interesting answer, and I'm happy with the question. I think I'm going to keep using it. All right.
Yeah.
So now the other standard question is, how do the people on the internet find out more about WMCAT, all of those great boot camps and training offerings you guys have, all that kind of stuff?
Yeah. So if you want to
more about you too, if they wanted to know.
If you want to learn more about WMCAT, WMCAT.org. WMCAT.org. From there, you can dive into any of the programs that WMCAT offers, our teen arts and tech, workforce development, social enterprises, etc. Specifically, if you want to find out more about the Cyber Hub, it's cyber.wmcat.org. Same spelling, WMCAT.org.
Sure. Cyber, SIGHBURR.
Cyber. A little bit more of the traditional spelling there, but
CYBER.
CYBER.wmcat.org. And then want to find out more about me, inside of our WMCAT page, there's a little bio about who I am, where I come from, why I'm really passionate about working with WMCAT and helping to fill the skills gap, diversify the talent pipeline. But I'm also on LinkedIn. Cool. So Anthony Tuttle.
That's where we can find you.
ANTHONYTUTTLE. Kind of sounds like turtle, but it's not.
Tuttle, not turtle. All right, man. Thank you for being on the pod. I really appreciate it. And now I'm going to press stop.
So we're good, okay.
Yeah,
cool, man.
Good one.
Nice, very nice.
All right, so you're here to tell me what to do with my life?
I am, yes, yes. I'm your therapist. Did you ever see the Adam Sandler skit?
I've seen several.
Yeah.
He's done many.
Yeah.
Could you narrow that down a little bit for me?
I think it was the farting psychologist. It's a good one.
All right,
it's
put
worth,
it on the
it's worth
to-do
a
list.
look up. It is. It's worth a look up. Yeah.
Farting psychologist.
Yes.
All right.
I believe that's or hypnotist. No. Yeah, maybe it was
Can you
like
hypnotize
big
people when you're
gassing
farting?
hypnotist or something. It was so funny. I'm telling you. Anyway. Yeah.
All right. You're who? Who are you again?
My name is Dr. Jared DeMott.
Do you always say doctor first?
I am
you got a chip
the
on your shoulder about that?
founder and CEO of EDA Labs, of course. Yeah, why not?
I always make people say professor because I have a chip on my shoulder because I'm not Dr. Rosema. You are the holder of a doctor of philosophy degree. Normally, then you want to go teach somewhere, but what you did instead was you decided to go get filthy rich selling the cybers to everybody.
I don't think that was the plan either.
No?
You know, for me, honestly, I'll be honest, it was just one of those things where I thought, can I get a master's degree? And I did that, and I thought that was cool. It wasn't really that bad either. So then when we moved back to Michigan from the DC area,
where you were working as a spy.
Yeah, 2006 we came back to Michigan, and I thought, you know, a PhD seems hard. Like, I wonder if I could do that. And it was actually pretty hard. I didn't finish till 2012, so it took me 6 years actually to complete.
That's kind of like what I'm planning on
yeah,
myself.
it was lengthy, but it was just something I wanted to do. Didn't necessarily. I did actually teach for a year full time at Ferris, just to try it out. I knew I didn't really want to do it, but I thought, you know what, this is kind of a part of the academic route.
For sure.
It's kind of a stop along the way, and I did like it, but it just wasn't. For me, it just wasn't the right thing. I knew that, you know, kind of doing more of a startup, it really was what I wanted to do.
That's sort of hot and sexy and fast-paced and go fast and break things. So like what I'm learning here, and this may be a little off topic from what we usually talk about on DR, is that there's like a spectrum of college professor. Like what I'm doing now, 100% teaching. You know, you do college and student service and stuff like that, but really my job is to be in a classroom, lighting up young minds, doing all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, very important.
I was at Purdue the other day. I gave my like networking for network nerds talk that I did at one of the conferences around here. That's a completely different deal down there. The R1 research institution like Michigan State, instructors there teach a class.
Yeah.
They are expected to spend the rest of their time focused on research and getting them dollars, you know, making grant proposals and grant writing and monitoring those grants. And apparently less fun grants than the NSF grant I'm working on right now with Davenport, where we're just basically finding students, getting them fired up about the cybers, getting them into the workforce. Apparently DARPA wants you to do stuff.
Yeah,
like
I think so. I think you're supposed to perform on those contracts. Yeah, they're basically like a contract, Yeah, so many research professors are kind of like running their own little division almost.
Right.
Yep.
So I don't know. That might be fun. So like,
Yeah.
I'm completely lost as to what it is I want to do.
Yeah.
I like the teaching piece. Honestly, I discovered that I really like GrCC students. Don't tell Purdue, but they're kids. Oh my God, they're like 18, 19 tops, 20, 21 maybe.
Yeah.
Wow. Our student population is super diverse. It's like 70% of them aren't even full-time. Most of them have kids and families and lives and stuff.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's very cool. I love that.
And I relate a lot. So like that's when I was one of those, like, I'm just going to go out and join the workforce kind of people. I'll figure out the computer stuff as I go.
Yeah.
Got my computer science done on the streets.
Yeah.
That's how I like to
the
put
tough
that.
streets of GR.
That's right. Rock hard streets of Southeast Side. Matt Ave, homie.
Yeah.
But like came to school late. And I kind of found like what you're talking about. It seemed like not overly hard. Now that I'm an adult and I can sit still for an hour and a half and read, the classes aren't bad.
Yeah. Yeah, very cool. Well, I'm sure you'll find your path, whether it's research or work or getting through that dissertation and all that. Yeah, that'll be good. You'll have fun.
Yeah, I have been so far. I appreciate your sage advice. What's going on at you got? I'm kind of ticked actually. I had to go teach some of those students while you were talking about fuzzing.
Yeah,
what
that
was your talk
cool.
about today? What did I miss out on?
Yeah, so GrrCON today's been fantastic. Yeah, I've been able to participate in the exec summit and then on the vendor floor here and then at various talks. We had a couple engineers giving a malware talk. Greg and James were doing that.
Oh yeah,
that was good.
James will stop by. I gave Greg a watch.
Okay, perfect. Yeah,
like
nice. Yep, so I gave a talk on next-gen fuzzing, Raining O-Day, I think was the title of the talk. Yep.
It's raining O-Day.
Yeah, it was. Yep, very good. So we got, the premise of the talk was giving some background on, very briefly, on traditional fuzzing tools and then talking about what the state of the art is, which basically
This is that Microsoft thing, right?
Yeah, and as well as there's another one called Mayhem. So we talked about MSRD and Mayhem. Mayhem's another tool. They were the Carnegie Mellon folks that started a company. They won the DARPA Grand Cyber Challenge a couple years back, and they turned their tech into a commercial fuzzing tool called Mayhem. And so we have access to both, so we can basically rain O-Day out of either one. Yep. It's been really interesting to be able to play with kind of these cutting-edge commercial next-gen. They're basically what they are is they're behavior-based guided feedback fuzzers that sort of combines feedback to drive toward better coverage as well as constraint solving to sort of kind of achieve better code coverage while you're testing your binary kind of automatically. So that's how they're able to
Is it your binary? Does it need to see source or is it
No,
just
and that's
the
other cool thing. Yeah, a lot of like dynamic analysis tools need to be able to, especially some static, but they either need like debug symbols or they need to be able to recompile your binary or have the source code or something. These don't require that, which is very cool.
So are you just sitting at home minting money at like BugCrowd and HackerOne?
No. We probably should, like Bug Bounty or something, but I don't think that was the intent of the relationship we have with these two companies.
They might not appreciate that.
Yeah, that wasn't
thing.
the intent. The intent was for us to give them feedback on their tools so that they can help, better serve their customers.
So this is a special relationship that VDA Labs enjoys with the CMU guys and Microsoft.
Yeah. So they have a company now called For All Secure, and obviously Microsoft. So you're right. Yep, VDA Labs. We have a nice relationship with both of them. And
if I wanted to like play with these tools, how much is it going to set me back?
That's a good question. Yeah. We can help you out with that.
You gonna figure out a pricing scheme?
Call for details.
All right.
Yep.
It's still vdalabs.com. That's where I go to find that out.
Yes, info@vdalabs.com if anybody ever has questions about anything like that. So that would be cool. It is a neat field. I've always been one of the very first talks I ever gave at probably like, I don't remember the year, but let's say 2007 maybe, DEF CON. I gave a talk on fuzzing. And what's funny is in today's talk, I referred to those as like the old tools that like people used years ago. And at that time, though, they were the cutting
11
edge.
years since then, bro.
Yeah, I know. Well,
12?
and it's funny, so it's like, it's very interesting that in this field, it kind of gives us the hope that if you love what you do, 5-10 years from now, you'll still be doing it. It'll just be different challenges, different tool sets, different, things kind of, there's no, like, we're never really just done in this field,
Right. Yeah, Jim said much the same. I'm trying to figure out what is going to keep me fired up enough to write that book. So that kind of stuff you're talking about, memory forensics, live system analysis for incident response, that kind of stuff, all sounds great and interesting. I just need to figure out what the hell it is I'm going to look at.
Niche of, because we work across everything from code auditing to Fed missions to incident response to red teaming, you name it, and so there's a lot of work. Actually, it's funny. Cyber, it's this niche, right? You're a niche of IT, and then under that there's security, and then even under security there's many of these other sub-niches that they're all very cool.
Right, and some of cyber, I'm going to talk with the guy at Grand Valley this evening, and their niche is kind of like making cyber as a niche of computer science. So more, more mathy, more code analysis.
Yeah, and really we need to take
picture.
it further back. We need to get that into high school, to tell you the truth.
We're working on it. There's a thing called Cyber Patriot. Anthony Tuttle just wandered off from WEMCAT. They're talking about doing some of those kind of competitions, get people exposed, get them interested.
Yep.
I'm bringing my kids tomorrow to go hack for kids. So like I made 2 humans, and then I'm going to try and I'm at least going to show them that it exists.
Yeah, and I've been doing the same with my kids to a certain extent, but it's kind of one of those things where it's still a field where you have to be really proactive and kind of get your children into it. They don't probably wouldn't necessarily know about cyber so much if they didn't have like another adult-like figure in their life that's kind of mentioning it to them. You know what I mean? It's not well known enough at the high school level, I would say, for sure.
By golly, they keep telling me there's jobs.
There are jobs.
Although on one hand I hear there's not enough people in the cybers. And then I hear when we open up I might be boring you here, but when we open up a cyber job, I get 1,000 resumes that aren't qualified. There might be a disconnect between what we want out of cyber people and what we're training in the schools too. It's
a little of both, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely work. We definitely need to get more people interested and into the field. For sure, but it depends on the area too. There are opportunities, and some places get more resumes than they need. Other places definitely don't get nearly enough. So it depends a little bit.
That's the hard stuff. Like if you pop out a job posting that says wanted someone really familiar with IDA and like Gajira or whatever the Ghidra was called.
Yep.
Yeah.
I liked your pronunciation better though.
Gajira.
Yeah. I do like that.
I might stick with that.
Yeah. Professor Drew Rosema patented.
Right. Copyright, patent pending, 2019. Like those are hugely different skill sets. Like I need somebody who knows how to secure a router is one thing. I need somebody who can decompile Windows 32 binaries.
It's a very fast-paced field too. So finding people that are hungry enough to stay passionate, to stay excited, to kind of stick with it, because you're constantly learning in this field. It's not like I went to school for it 20 years ago and I just kind of went to sleep at my career. It's just not that kind of job.
Right.
So there's...
Wait, that means it's hard.
Yeah, it is challenging. It is challenging. So we look for people that are, up for the challenge too.
Gotcha. You guys actually, not to blow smoke too hard up, but you guys do a great job of like finding young talent and developing it too. Because I know... Are there 2 CISOs in this town who, up until recently, worked for you guys? I can think of one right off the top of my head.
That's
you guys to a network provider.
Part of our claim to fame is that we definitely take care and train and mature our talent. You have to, in this field. The problems are challenging enough that there's not just sort of an instant hire that works. Typically, they definitely need a lot of on-the-job training.
Right.
Yep.
All right. Are you listening out there, employers? Even if you hire somebody who went to school a lot, you're still going to have to train them. And it might not be a Grand Rapids Community College, although we're a great place to start. You took some of the good ones. I'm a big fan of that one guy you got.
Yeah. Yes.
We've had excellent luck. We have students, I think, in just about, and I can't take credit for this, obviously. This is before my time even. I think we have somebody come up to this booth at GrrCON from just about every major employer in West Michigan and say, "Oh, I got my start at GRCC." So shameless self-plug there, but I think we do good work.
Yeah, GRCC is an important part of this community for sure.
Aww. It makes us feel good when you say that.
It is. No, it's true. Yep. Appreciate all you do.
All right. Well, I appreciate your time. Every time's a good time.
Yeah. Good stuff, bro.
So what do you think so far? Have you had a chance to check out anything other than this booth?
Yes, I did.
Did you? Oh, okay. Hey, tell the nice people in podcast land who you are.
I'm Sviatoslav Pavlov.
Say what?
Sviatoslav Pavlov.
Man. Doctor.
Dr. Slava Pavlov.
There you go, doctor. What do you do for a living?
I teach.
Do you?
Yep.
Is that what you call that?
CIS.
Computer? Computer stuff?
Yep.
Good. We have a mighty need for that just now. And is this your first GrrCON?
Second.
Yep. All right. What'd you see so far that was cool? Anything?
Well, it was very good presentation yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of unusual. The presenter talked about getting help for IT professionals security professionals with mental issues. Obviously, a lot of them have depression.
It is
Yeah,
a depressing business.
depressing job, a stressful job.
Can't be, especially the security stuff. You oftentimes will find guys are like the scapegoat.
Right.
Cool. So anything you want to check out today?
Any suggestions? Anything you would?
I don't know. The keynotes looked good. I thought it was saying something that both of their keynotes were female presenters this year. I thought that was cool.
So maybe I will. What do you know the topic of the presentation? The second?
She started half an hour ago. So
Oh,
if,
all right.
if you were hoping, that's not happening. What do you teach?
Teach primarily CompTIA A+ courses
Okay.
at GrrCC.
Everybody's a fan.
Yeah, CS265, CS266. And besides that, I teach some introductory security course sometimes
The one
when my
Sophie-
boss allows me to teach it.
He teaches that one too.
Yeah. And Cisco course, an introductory Cisco course.
All sorts of fun stuff.
Yeah. And Java.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful Java, and we thank you for that. So, do you do any of the social medias?
Not really, no.
Gotcha.
No,
So if you want to find
I
out
used to
about-
be active on Facebook, but not lately.
I try and steer clear of Facebook. That thing scares me.
Yeah, I kind of don't trust them, unfortunately.
Really? Weren't you raised in the former Soviet bloc?
Well, that's why I have these suspicious.
Started to feel familiar to it?
Yeah, kind of. Suspicious attitude.
All right, man. Thank you for talking.
Yeah, sure, anytime.
Well, I hope you found those conversations as entertaining to listen to as I did to have them.
And I did to edit them.
So we hope to do this again next year. So if you're listening to this, thanks to the people who came up and told us that they had heard the shout out and they got their wonderful prize.
Wait, did anyone do that?
Too. Sweet. And thanks for all you do for the Defeasible Reasoning Podcast. We appreciate it.
It's not that much.
Remote engineer.
I get more out of
Audio
it.
editor.
I think I get more out of it probably than I put in, so it's
deal.
cool.
All right, man.
Yeah.
That work for you?
Yeah,
Extra
that's
wise?
great.
All right.
That's great.
Defeasible Reasoning is produced at the Epic Studios of Grand Rapids Community College, Media Technologies Department. Epically executive produced by Noah D. Smith and hosted by me, Drew Rosen.